Now you can surf through the night under the lights. Griffin absolutely loved it. But one thing we did notice from those practices, they were absolutely exhausted. They were testing their fitness. In the ocean, there isn't really a comparable demanding wave that they're surfing all the time. You can definitely save yourself on a wave, but these surfers, they don't take a break. There's a lot of room to highline and relax, but Griffin's one of those guys that will be pedal to the metal start to finish.
It's the quad burner. You'll see it at the end of these rides, the guys clutching the tops of their legs because it does get real, that lactic acid buildup towards the end.
Rosie, is Griffin one of your favorite post-heat interviews on tour?
100%. He's so entertaining. He's got such a great personality. He's so fun to catch up with.
Remember his qualifying interview at Haleiwa? What did he say to you?
He said he was speechless, and that's a tough thing when you're doing an interview.
He's ripping already. Oh, how's this tube? Super deep and just putting that back arm into the wall to burn off all that speed. Well done. Love the down carve. So much variety from Colapinto. Had a couple of good battles in the practice with Andino yesterday. How's that fin ditch? A lot of variety, packing the inside bowl. Well done for Griff. Gets the exit. What's he got for us? Big wind-up tail-high punt, incomplete. But put up a solid start. He might be a little bit more freed up on his left. Such great energy out of Colapinto's style and approach. So much variety. What'd you like about it, Rosie?
I love the way that he's reading it so well, Joe. And I think everyone's kind of had the potential to have a few practice runs and really iron out what they want to do. I think ditching the fins here and then having the timing to kind of burn off that speed and get ready for the section, the depth in this barrel. Kelly was saying it earlier. That's what it's all about here at the Surf Ranch, because everyone can get barreled, but it's about that depth.
Super deep, and then only thing he missed out on was the finish at the end of the ride. Great performance from Colapinto. He's on Team Peterson. We'll take a quick break. Coming back with Cote and Pete Mel for the call.
Both teams in quarterfinal number 4 are going for stoked mentoring. There's Griffin Colapinto on his backhand. I love that our surfers they're up for it. They're donating all their winnings to our charity partners. Stoked Mentoring has been doing incredible things. Co-founded by our friend Salema Masekela. And this is a time where we need an organization like Stoked helping out. They've been doing big things. And speaking of big things, Griffin Colapinto, his backhand, I would say, everything is as lethal, if not more lethal, than his forehand. And that's saying a lot because we know how good he is on his front hand. There it almost was.
Well, and you think about it, he's with Peterson in this one, who is a past winner here, but you've got Igarashi and Weston-Webb, which is a bit of a sleeper team as well. So both Igarashi has put up some big numbers on the rights and lefts, right? So you almost have to be accomplished because you get one run, which is one right and one left, and you have to put a number up no matter what.
And speaking of excitement, here we go. Kanoa Igarashi, 2019 Corona Bali protected winner. And I like that you mentioned it, Pete. This is weirdly an underdog team when you're going up against Colapinto and Peterson. But Kanoa Igarashi, I mean, he has been rising to the occasion. I'd say the last 5 years has really been his time, making a huge push. Found himself up into the top 10. Some event wins. Had this year been your quote-unquote normal year on the championship tour, no doubt a title contender right here at Kanoa Igarashi.
Look at this. He's just getting his combos in before this last barrel section, sets it up, and he's got those big moves. He can go to the air. Let's see if he'll do it on this one in the end.
He will. 3, 2, 1, launch.
Oh, the board got away from him at that very end moment. So a bit of a stumble at the end. If he stomps that, all of a sudden we're talking about really big number. You know, probably going to be similar or comparable to Colapinto's, his, at least his right.
New unique team format. Our charity partners could be looking at a $10,000 donation. Lakey Peterson and Griffin Colapinto are both surfing for Stoked Mentoring, and what a strange start for Lakey Peterson, who's usually so sharp right off the takeoff. It looks like she's
back foot slipped off the grip there, and she was able to keep it on there, so good recovery.
Yeah, right there. I mean, that deserves some accolades, being able to stay on her board. Now she's surfing like the Lakey. And we're used to seeing here at the surf range.
She is a winner here in the basin, so she knows how to do it in the big stage.
So our surfers are enjoying one of the fastest waves on the planet. Pete, how fast are they going down the line here?
Well, I mean, if you put a speed gun on them, it's probably around 20 miles an hour. That's how fast they're coming down the line, but it feels like you're going 100, and that's the best feeling you have in the world, and that's why we love surfing.
Well, sometimes after you come here and you get back to your friends at home and they say, what do you see? Is that gate close to you? Can you feel the ski? I'll tell you, when you ride a wave here, it feels like you're riding a wave anywhere in the world. It just happens to be a perfect wave. You don't notice kind of the periphery. What do you think? You've ridden some waves here, Pete.
I do, and it's amazing. It is one of the most perfect waves on the planet. We saw that little stumble there from Lakey Peterson, her foot completely off, and she somehow got it back on. I mean, her knee touched the grip, so nice and strong to get back and try to salvage this wave. And she did a good job. There was a little mistiming. Once that kind of happens, once you get out of sync, you have to re-sync yourself with the wave. And she's done that, especially when she started getting into that mid part of the wave where she really started laying the rail into that wall. Judges love to see you sink it all the way down to your stringer, which is that middle line on your surfboard. Really dig in and hold your speed through those maneuvers.
Yeah, like we have here, kind of contests within the contest. You have head-to-head matchups. In this case, it's Tatiana Weston-Webb versus Lakey Peterson. You had Kanoa Igarashi versus Colapinto. This is a cool charity. They help Native American teenagers and young adults realize a brighter future through a lot of outdoor education, conservation, wellness, and culture programs. You can check them out at nakednativelikewater.org. One of our 3 partners here. Lakey Peterson, she's trying to put a $10,000 check in the hands of Stoked Mentoring.
Well, even with that stumble, she still put up a big number, a 7.9. So this is going to be a little easier for her to deal with because she's already put a good number up. Matching what Colapinto had, just slightly lower. And here she is on her backhand.
Yeah, definitely a precise surfer. That's kind of the word that comes to mind when I think of Lakey Peterson.
When you think about backside and frontside, this is when your back is to the wave and your heels are different, so the surfing is different. So it's a little bit more challenging in certain aspects, especially this part of it, barrel riding.
Stalls, and that stall looked like, you can tell me more about the backside tube stall being one of the more difficult maneuvers in all of surfing. What happened there in the tube, Pete?
Well, she was trying to slow herself down, and when you're doing that, you're doing everything you can to slow yourself, without putting too much in. So you're kind of adjusting very, very slightly, and you're doing it in a very small little cone of water. So anytime the water touches you, it just wants to rip you off your board, and that's what happened here. This outside combos are nice though for her. Gets those snaps out in the face. When you're going on the left here, on your backhand specifically, there's a certain part where you have to race it. That's where she did. Almost had a little bobble on the bottom turn, but she lost a little drive, but it put her right in the position to be right behind it, so she can tag it for this combination of maneuvers, which is really nice from Lakey. It's just unfortunate you get to that inside barrel, and again, trying to slow down because you want to outrun it. This is the section here. She sets it up. You can see waiting, and then at this point, then sort of into this little barrel here, and she's trying to slow down, puts the nose up, and then starts to weave through, gets a little bit too deep. Not able to get that forward momentum at the very end of the barrel to get out of there.
There was a lot happening right there. This wave, again, is so fast, and mistakes are magnified with the speed. And just everything about this wave, while it is pretty much the most perfect wave in the world. Definitely the most consistently perfect wave in the world. It's like this every single day. In his Jeep, he is a Jeep rider, and he's also won a couple Jeeps in his time on tour. Here goes Tatiana Weston-Webb, back against the wall. Her first wave, a 3.80, a disappointing start, but she's got the opportunity here. She needs a 7.77.
Jackpot number. This wave's
nice.
Loading up with some size on it too, so this is good for her. She's just got to get down the face and make sure she gets around it.
It is such a small area that you need to stay in to get the maximum points out of this wave.
She's on her way. If she can complete this and get something pretty dynamic on this final move here, or final section, she might be able to figure it out for her. Wow, look at this, super deep. She comes out.
That was one of the deepest tubes we've seen yet on the left. All right, I take it back. Her forehand is as good as her backhand. That right there was just clutch, textbook surfing.
Think about the pressure she was having as a team member, right? She just like already 3.8 now has to have it happen on that wave. Had that little stumble too, and she pulled it together actually really deep in that final section. I think this is very close to the number needed.
Well, yeah, in past events here, I mean, they get way more opportunity to put scores up than they are now. And I like it because, you know, it really does put everything in line with each and every wave they surf.
Like she's mixing it up too with the angles on the maneuvers. That's what you have to do, is showcase some variety, especially on a wave so perfect like this. Saw that little crumble of the lip come down, which is nice, a little extra, something different for this wave. But then right there, like, oh gosh, she was a little bit too far behind. She comes around the section, no worries, and then goes to work, throwing it into the snap, back to back to back, the combination of major maneuvers. And then the tube ride, so critical. And she was able to get really deep here. I mean, look how far back she is in this one.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the deeper barrels we've seen of the day. We could be on the verge of an upset here with Igarashi and Tatiana Weston-Webb.
Very clutch. I mean, and again, if you're going to barrel ride out here and getting deep like this, she did the job for sure.
Nice little layback, kind of carving snap to finish it. There's the big smile. She was not smiling like that before that wave.
No, but that feels good. When you have that much pressure on you and you execute, give yourself the opportunity, now it's up in the judge's hands, and she's done everything.
Yeah, you push really hard.
Harder than normal.
That's a 9 at least.
Good job, Tati. That was sick. Well done. Smash too. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I have to do it.
Do you like that? Well, if so, subscribe over there and then watch more videos over there. And then tell us your favorite videos down there. It's a 3-step process. Do them all now.